KC2IRV here again with another Frankenstein project. Something looks a little familiar in this photo, or a video, I should say, is this guy right here. This filter I pulled out of an MSF. And I decided to put that to use for building my own custom Preamplifier Multicoupler, or CU Preamplifier Multicoupler. And it's turned out very, very well. It didn't really cost me much in parts. Most of this stuff I scrounged. Some major components I had to purchase. Made eBay purchases. Give you a little overview of what this does. A multicoupler preamplifier primarily is connected to an antenna. I'm going to get a chair because we need a camera here. Now let's restart what I was talking about. It connects to an antenna that is meant to feed multiple receivers at a tower site, usually within a specific band of frequencies. Sometimes multiple bands of frequencies, depending on how elaborate and complicated the multicoupler is. So essentially, you have a filter section in front of it that passes a reasonably tight band of filters. It's normally called a window filter because it passes a window of frequencies, not a specific set of frequencies. So, and this filter from an MSF actually works very well as a very tight window filter, about 3 megahertz of bandwidth. And this is UHF, by the way. That filter will cover about 430 to 470, 480 with what I've been finding out. So it goes from the filter. You get jacked into the antenna port. This is the antenna port where we connect the antenna, and then from there we then turn off my furnace before it goes. So let me put this down and turn my furnace off. Okay, we're back. I really don't spend the time to edit photos, or edit videos. I don't know why I keep calling them photos. So anyway, it gets, your antenna port is here. On this unit, it has an SMA in the back there, which I made a cable up to go to that. Right there. I used a chassis mount end connector, female end connector. Goes through the filters, and then comes out. I actually have it soldered to that loop I was talking about in my previous video, and goes into a preamp. This little preamp I purchased off of eBay. I got it for about 40 bucks. They go for about $130 brand new. I slightly retuned it. It's normally meant to pass the 460 to 470 meg band, but I retuned it down, to 440, 450. Pretty easy to do. This little resistor, let me get a pointer here. It'll be easier on my fat finger. There we go. This little resistor here, well, what looks like a resistor is actually a fuse. It's a little 1 amp fuse in case the amp shorts. The amp runs off at 12 volts. I have a little small power supply here. This power supply was $6.95 with free shipping with Amazon Prime. Puts out 1.5 amps at 12 volts. It's got an adjustable control to adjust the voltage output at just at 12.5 volts, and it runs off of 120 volts AC. What I did, because this is a little switching supply, sometimes they can be noisy. If you're running a switching supply of the cheaper kind, even some more expensive kind happens with this. I want to put, you can see it here, a little capacitor. I have a 0.01 microfarad capacitor right across the leads to suppress any RF noise. So anyway, from there, the amp boosts the signal up, and the amp's main purpose in a preamplifier multicoupler situation is to make up for the splitter loss. And I have a splitter here for mini circuits. Mini circuits make excellent little splitters, combiners, dividers. They're usually pretty small. You can get them in end connectors, SMA connectors. And A little expensive though. This guy's like almost $100. Magic of eBay though, got it for $35 with shipping. So the reason why I like mini circuit splitters, there's other out there that do a similar job, but I'm most familiar with mini circuits. Mini circuit splitters have very high port-to-port isolation, and that prevents things from mixing back in the front ends of your other receivers and causing havoc and causing, you know, all sorts of problems with interference. So that's why I like them. That's why they cost how much they cost. This one is actually a 1 to 1000 megahertz splitter, and it's got a port isolation at UHF of about 28 dB, if I remember correctly. I'm not looking at the data sheet, so but you can look it up. So good little splitter. I mounted everything. This is a 19-inch rack mount, just a rack shelf that was lying around. And then since, you know, beggars can't be choosers, the one I had was with BNCs, and I couldn't find the one with the BNCs that stick out the front. So at least not for, you know, what I wanted to pay, because I'm a cheap ham. You know, I found this one. I use some right angles. You know, I could turn them any which way I want. And also, one thing to know is on a preamplifier, you know, on a preamplifier multicoupler with you know, a splitter that splits 4, you know, 8, you know, however many ways. Open port should be terminated. That's what this is. This is a 50 ohm terminator. So this unit is only going to have 3 things connected to it. So I gonna have the 1 port terminated. That's so other things can't make their way into the splitter. And because this splitter can also act as a combiner, a very, very low power combiner. And anything that comes in this port here can be sent to the amplifier here and has a possibility of creating a mix. And that can go backwards to the amplifier, and if it's a frequency, a mixed frequency that's in the passband of this filter, it'll go right out the antenna. So that's why we terminate open ports. So anyway, I've tested it, tuned it. It performs admirably. So, and I get quite a bit of gain on it. That my IFR isn't really good for measuring exact numbers for gain. My HP 8924C does a far better job, but it tells me, at least if the amp is working, it's got significant gain. So let me get my cord down here. My dirty basement floor, and I don't have a BNC for this, so I'm pushing on that connector. Yeah, and I already hear people screaming, "No, don't do that!" Which, if you don't jam it on there like your Hercules, you're fine. So, here we go. I'm going to do this in reverse, because I got to get a ladder to plug this thing in. So, that is, I'm sweeping it with my tracking generator. I'm currently centered on 444.8. And I'm actually receiving at 444.875. That's where it is currently. So I'm within the passband. I can't get this thing completely flat. It is a little bumpy, but it's acceptable. So anyway, you can measure, you can see obviously where that is right now. It's about like the neg 35 region on the scope. So let me get in a good position here, and then I'm going to yank the power. Yeah, there's the power. So that's with the amp off. Okay. And now I'm going to connect my service monitor without the amp in place. So I'm going to put this here. I'm going to look at the cool flickering light for a while. And now I hope you have it in your mind where that was left, you know, with the amp on. Let me get this in place. Oh, probably just saw it pop up there. I really need to hire a cameraman to do my work for me. That'd be great. There it is. It's around a little up like -48. So you can see it gives me a significant gain. Even, you know, being split 4 ways. Which, if I so desired, I could split this 8 ways. So, until I actually test this out on a receiver itself, generate a signal in, and listen to it on a radio receiver itself, I won't have an exact idea what it does, but it has some significant gain. It actually has an overall system gain. So, yeah, I'm very happy with how this turned out. That's why I say, if you can get a hold of an MSF in UHF or VHF, in the bottom tray, pull this filter out. Very, very useful. Very useful. 50 ohms in, 50 ohms out. You can't ask for much more than that. So, and yeah, it's gonna solve a little problem I'm having at my own tower site. So for my UHF repeater. If you want to know more, shoot me an email at kc2irv@gmail.com, or, you know, leave your questions in the comments. I do get emails when I get comments on videos, so I can answer them if anyone has a question. And I know I don't have a very large user base at the moment, but if anybody has any questions or any suggestions on what videos they would like to see categorically, maybe some specifics, let me know. I'm more than open to suggestions.